Doing a little mini video. Oh, there's that beautiful sunshine for heat. We're in the thick. I come into the thicket. Some water down there, a little pond. Not too far from the road. An old homestead. Part of public land now, but I come through on that tree, and that one right over there is both buck rubs. I'm going to try to sneak through these briars. I think I found me, look at that, you can see the rubs on there. A rub on that little tree right there, that's pines. There's rubs all over, and this whole thing is a giant bedding thicket. I got the wife sitting over to the right. I don't know, I think she's about 60 yards from me to the right over there, but I'm going to try to sneak around through here and maybe bump one towards her. So I'm just going to kind of walk a little bit. It's impossible to be quiet in these briars, but I'm going to attempt to get out right by that cedar. There's all kinds of little pathways all through here. Pop open to little clearing spots in the center. Sorry about the hand on the video. While I get it set back up on the chest. We're going to cut out through here. I mean, the trail's just there. Look at that trail. I already got it. I mean, it's just a night. They got trails all over in this thicket. This is where I'll be hunting. I just found this spot. As you've heard me say in many of the videos, I have like, I think 2 or 3 other videos I still need to upload. But this is my first year hunting this area, the Mark Twain National Forest over here in Missouri. And so I'm finding a lot of spots, but like you can see, there's another little clearing right there. You could get pop you a little blind up in there. Actually, what I really want to do is I want to search the whole area. You see how big those pines are? Different types of pines. I think that's actually cedar. I think. I'm not for sure, to be honest with you. It might be. You might know better than me. I thought it was I think it's a different kind of pine than the ponderosas, which are those great big tall ones, which are everywhere, like different than the one in front of me. You see how the needles are on that one? That one looks more like a cedar, but I think it's a pine too because it's got some of them berries on it. Anyways, those are nice ones, whether it be a pine or cedar. To hang my stand up in there, man, you can disappear. Plus the cover scent. If they come sneaking through these spots, there's trails all through here. If you can't tell, I'm a little excited. I'm gonna try. I know there's several of these spots directly in front of us. All kinds of different little pockets, and I'm going to try to sneak through to the right and poke it back over toward my wife over there. I thought that was her that I saw, but through the bushes way over there. But anyway, I love that color, the blaze orange. I use that marking tape straight ahead. That's why I was stopped and I was quiet for a minute. I can actually see it through the brush in the 2 places, and I was making sure it wasn't somebody standing over there. It's the last day of rifles, so there ain't no telling who's out. But I got to try to sneak through here, so bear with me. Ain't much sneaking to it. Briars. That's quite surprising because the deer pop through there and they don't even make a noise. I try not to do that too much. I don't want to rip my coveralls to shreds, but I needed to get through that and this one other little spot right here. I wasn't really concerned about trying to be quiet. I can see all the deer hunters out there. Like, what the heck is that, man? But I wanted to get through the briar patch. Just call me Hound Dog. But anyways, or Beagle Dog, whatever. But I'm going to try to find a couple of these little paths and kind of skirt around that way. It's really beautiful out here. That'd be a good one, that pine that was right behind us. But you see where we just came through, of course I made noise, but the trail comes right through there for the deer. You can see their footprints all over in it. Nice little line. They cut right through that. And I don't know what those, you got two different types. I'm going to show you. You got this one here, like the regular old blackberry or briar bush. And then you got this weird purple one. Let me get back up in here. You see that? It's like a purplish maroonish. Look at the camera. And it's got little thin barbs all over it too. And they grow like a stinking weed, man. Those things trail off. And of course they catch you on the ankles. Everywhere else where you're trying to get through there. And then you got these open spots. And you can tell the deer coming here have been eating. You can tell one's even been laying in different places all over up in here. I could see it. Right here. Here and right there. You can tell they've been laying right there. Perfect hidden spot behind all that. Ain't nothing getting through that without making noise. And he's got all the exit routes through all this stuff. All kinds of little cutting through between to get right by the cedars and squeeze through and come out. And then there's a drop off back behind us. The edge of that tree line where the sun's back there, there's a giant valley. It drops way down, probably, I don't know, 80 foot anyway. There's another little pond I found right over here. It's not a pond anymore. It's the same concave or bowl shape in all the middle of them cedars over there. Thick up inside of there, but a neat little hiding spot. We'll probably cut through that and come back around to the right toward the wife over that way. I believe that's what I want to do. I'm paying attention and watching. I know it might be a small chance when I'm hoping to get one to my wife. The Lord's able. One could pop up anywhere laying down there. There's another pocket over there. More cedar, pine, whatever it is. Same thing all the way out through here in this chunk. That old homestead, I'm guessing at one point in time they had all this mowed down for whatever. Man, it's beautiful out here. I love it. See what I mean? Look at those purple ones are in an arch. The deer scoot right through there. And as soon as I duck through there and tried to duck underneath of that, it get caught on my neck or my backpack. And it ripped me around in 5 circles. I'd be stuck in the middle of that, and I'd be in there unless I just barrel on through it. That was some sarcasm, but true story. Those briars, they got a mind of their own, man. There's something on that tree down there. A leaf waving at us. I might go around down to the edge of that and walk that ridge up. See if I don't see something down in that valley. And here's the berries. I think these might be beauty berries. You can see that. They're a pinkish purple. And they're in clusters. So I guess maybe it is a beauty berry. It's a type of a beauty berry. There was all kinds of different ones. They're everywhere. And they had a different one. The ones in Mississippi was more purple and in clusters down the vine. Clusters like 3 or 4 inches apart. These are similar, but they're like a smaller version. I don't know, not for sure what they are or if the deer even eat them. I like paying attention to stuff like that this time of the year. Then you know where to try to find the deer. I still got alternative season here in Missouri, which opens on the 27th of December. And that's you can use 40 caliber handgun or bigger, which I'm going to use my handgun. And then you can use a muzzleloader, which I don't know who's going to do that, but you can use an atlatl, which is a type of a primitive weapon. Old traditional bows. Here's something else has been laying right here, right in front of me. All over they've been laying in here. And if I'm not mistaken, if I don't share this video, I'll use it for my personal purposes for scouting later, or positioning a stand next year. I kind of like, that one's a little too low, but I think I can get right up in the center of that one. That's a persimmon tree, and I think there's some other persimmon tree. I think that one might be. I'm quite certain that one is, and there's one on the back, right back over here where there was one other tree on the back, and it'd be a pretty good drawing, if you would. Anyway, by that I mean drawing the deer in. And I could tell I'm quite certain it was a persimmon tree. I'm not 1,000%, but actually it was even using as a scrape. You can see the branches broken there, licking branches, and there's a scrape on the ground, or an old scrape anyway. And I think I can get through the edge of this. I want to peek back in that edge, but I could be mistaken, but I'm thinking you can see under the ground underneath the hair, it's just all beat down and moved around, where they come around through there giving them persimmons. They love persimmons. Man, this deer could be anywhere around here. It's just, I don't know if you can tell from the camera from this angle, but in front of us it drops off. There's a huge valley out there. That's like 200, probably 50 yards wide, and then a huge mountain going up on the other side out here. They could be anywhere out here in the hardwoods. But there's surely a lot of sign around here. I've noticed one of the things in this mountain, you see where the sun's at. I ain't trying to blind you there, but look how beautiful that looks across through there. When that sun hits all that stuff at a certain angle, either you can see decent, really good, and then boy howdy, when that hits in the shadow, it's almost like it turned dark out here. Obviously, but anyway, I'm gonna have to make too much noise getting under that, but I really want to get over to that other side. And I could pause the video and pretend like I'm not making noise, but we're just going to get through it and be done with it. The real world. Tell you what, I need a new blade anyways. Boy howdy, I got a battery lawnmower at the house. It's got self-propelled. It'd be worth bringing that baby out here and making me a couple mowed trails through there with my old battery lawnmower. But we're going to walk this edge. Oh my Lord, looky there. Look at that other buck rub right there in front of us. That buck's everywhere up in here. I know I'm probably not going to see anything today. I'm just so happy to be out here having I guess you'd call it a little bit of a freedom. To be out here with your weapon, seeing if I could get a deer. And I wanted to check this edge out yesterday. Big old rocks everywhere. This would be perfect travel corridor hidden back here in the back. I would love that cedar. I want to be in that cedar. It's much more hidden. I changed my mind on that. That cedar's pretty cool. And you can see up the edge too, so I don't know, I guess it's kind of a toss-up. But so many options, right? That big old pine, cedar, whatever it is, by the trees. But this dude, a nice, this is a travel corridor. The reason why I say that, I guess I should explain. Straight over there, I told you on the other side of that one, all those big ponderosa pines standing way up tall. That's where that other little depression is. There's no water in it right now, but I'm sure in the spring it holds a little bit of water. And the Norfolk River is that way, probably about a good half-mile, but still they find those little spots to drink. And so with that pond being there, that little pond back up in the front, man, they travel all the way up and down. This whole area is just thick with deer activity. But I kind of like this one because as soon as pressure starts, if you'll pay attention, it went off through that way. You didn't see that on the day video. We'll go up there in a minute. But it travels all the way down through this edge and around that edge, and that's a drop-off down in there for a hiding area. Man, I like this spot. He marked up another one. Completely broke it off, ripped up right there. I'm gonna go up. I like walking in that grass much better. It's much more able to be quiet. Oh boy, here's a scrape. I heard something. I couldn't tell if it was a deer blowing at me or what. These leaves at this time of the year, hard to hear with all the noise. But look at that. That's a fresh scrape. Actually, there's urine in it right there. You can see it. It's wet in the center still yet. I don't know if you can make that out on the camera. Something was there and peed in it, and there's actually poop there too. Deer poop. So that one's still been used not too long ago. Especially if it's still wet. Because it ain't rained better than a week anyway. So that one's still being used. Well, just past that edge, drops off, heads down into the valley. I'm going to go peek at it down here on the corner. Man, these are nice too. Perfect bedding area. You can see it too. Trail right through there. Just right along this whole edge. Skirts the whole thing right through here on this back edge. Completely hidden from the road. Perfect covers. Man, and right in front of me, another good spot. Look at that. How opened up in there. That'd be another good one. And that cedar. The second one over. You could be able to cover all this whole edge. I'm going to peek through that. Then we're going to come back and look in the valley and work our way back toward the Y. Oh boy, howdy. We've entered into a new land of beauty. Isn't that just an amazing view? I get excited in the outdoors and seeing those beautiful things of the Lord. We'll skirt that edge on the way back and let you see the valley before that sun gets too low. And I'm just poking. Poking and looking. This is nice to know too. Here's a little bit of shelving. This is kind of more open. And I don't know. I kind of like this too. I don't know if the camera does that view justice that I'm seeing with my eyes. The camera doesn't seem to ever take it all the way in. As crazy as that may sound, depth perception and whatnot. But right in front of us, the truck's out on the road that way. I'm going to guess all that way is probably about 240 yards. 2 football fields and almost a half, something like that. It's close to it. Anyway, that dip right in there, as you can see, there's a dip and it goes up. That leads right up to that pond, that first pond that we passed, which was right up back up there. We came in a big left-hand circle. Anyway, so this is really good. You can see all the side of that ridge, the valley. You can get the edges of it going down there. You get the idea how huge it is. But I'm going to try to slow a little bit. I don't know how much. I know I've made some noise, but I'm going to try to poke up to the edge of that and just kind of meander back along that way. Like I said, it's almost impossible to be super quiet with all these leaves. You can get on some rocks and some sticks to try to be a little quiet. It's still fun. Nice huge open edge here, man. This one might be even better early in the season. I guess it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? Because this is kind of the only open edge before more bedding, and you got the actual bedding thicket. And so I'm kind of tossing over in my mind. I could come down the edge. I'll come down the back side of the edge of the pond next time and come around the ridge, and I could get over to that one cedar tree pretty good from this way without making too much intrusion. I mean, the valley is insane, man. It's like, it just goes over and it's like, bow, drops off. And I'm not a grand mountaineer first year here, but I don't know yet if you call those gorges or it's not really a valley because it's not open. So I guess it'd be like a gorge or just the whatever you call it. And you can see beautiful, and that sun hits all those gray branches in the sunlight, and they're almost grayish white, and it's like messes with your eyes a little bit. Lord Jesus. Wind's picking up a little. Man, you can get the idea of that valley. Like I said, the deer could be out here anywhere. And I've always paid attention. If the Lord wants me to have a deer, I'll get another one. I got stand set up on the other side. This was just a scouting and letting the wife, hopefully I could bump something back over to her over yonder maybe, but she's in one position. But it's so beautiful getting out here to see all this beautiful scenery. The deer could be out here anywhere. I've snuck up on several of them over the years. That's an old piece of barbed wire. Check that out. From an old fence. I'm ready to get back up in the grass. Some leaves are about enough to drive somebody half bonkers. That's crazy. This must be a good spot for them. You can see it right there. I just pay attention. Where they kick. Coming up this down out of this valley. Creatures of habit. But they're smart ones, I could tell you. That wind is cutting, man. Little baby cedars growing. See them? Pine, cedar, whatever they are. Get back up. See if we can sneak around. I sure wish it would have rained. Of course, it's awful cold out. It would have frozen, probably made it worse, but it's going to pop up in temperature just a little bit this week. I love getting out here in the rain. It's much easier to be quiet walking through all this. That is so cool. The trail goes that way, and then it goes that way, right underneath the back of that cedar. Awesome little area. Like I said, I don't know if I'll share this video or not, but definitely some good scouting information on it. Yeah, that cedar there, this one is. Those other ones, I think they're a big type of a pine though. The one I was talking about earlier in the video, their branches are bigger and just looks different than that cedar. All those people that never hunt bedding areas, and that probably feel like I'm creating a huge, horrible foul today, but we're living in the middle of the Ozark Mountains, and I haven't even jumped one deer yet, so this is the end of the season. And like I said, I got the wife sitting over there. I've already explained that, but I'm doing this once again. I'm doing it for anybody that jumps into the middle of the video instead of watching the whole thing. I'm doing it more for my preparation for next season, or possibly even the very end of alternative methods in a couple weeks after it settles down, meaning my scent. And they walk this whole edge through here. It's tricky to hunt these places. Patience. Scripture says, in your patience possess ye your souls. Another thing, you could see straight across there, that's the drop off, and then the other side of that whole ridge. So unless it's raining, at this time of the year, it's almost impossible to sneak up on something unless you got some rain cover or you're traveling at dark setting up, because everything's going to see you coming from 3 ridges over. I know that. But it sure is better than sitting on the couch. That's a pileated woodpecker. He just popped right through there fine. Those big woody woodpecker ones, they call them. Hear him? That's a crow. You can't hear him now. He went off. But boy, this would definitely be a good spot as soon as the end of February. I've found them in January before, shed antlers. But while everything's still down good, man, get out here at the middle of February, beginning, start looking for shed antlers out here on all these cedars and pines areas, poking through here. I'm fitting to break that branch. It's dead anyway. Lucky here. I'm gonna move that. Oh, if I do, it'll mess it up. I don't know if you can see that deer tracks right there. Back in the thick, man. That's where I came to marked it last time, so I wouldn't get turned around in here. But I think I'm gonna get in that little hole I told you about up here. Perfect spot, man, right there for a deer to lay. Perfect spot to stay out of the weather. And here's even another one. We're going into the deep, ladies and gentlemen. Stick stuck in my neck. I wish the whole floor of this forest was like what we're about to walk into up here. Oof. Got blinded, man. Look at how thick that is. I told you that was when back in the other part of the video, and I said, there's a depression up in here. I was in there yesterday. Whoever burned this all up back in the day, a long time ago, judging by the size of the trees that's growing in here. Same one that up by the front. I don't think I got that one on video, but maybe when I get to the end of this, rip my hat off my head. Oh boy. Look at that, ain't that cool? They bowled up. It had a pond in it at one time. You can see it, I don't know if you can tell, but trail right through there. Right up the side. All through here, actually, a couple of them. But man, I got those glasses that change tint. When you get down in here after being in the sun, those things are dark. It's almost like it's dark outside. There's a chanterelle mushroom kicked over. See it? The orange. What's left of it. Man. My balls. I don't know how much more I'll do this video. I don't even know how long I've been videoing right now, but actually I don't even know if it is still videoing. I guess it is still videoing, 36 minutes. But I'm gonna cut up there. The wife is over that way-ish, somewhat. And so I was gonna cut a circle, and actually it's more back in that area. I was gonna try to bump something to her. I got a pretty good sense of direction, especially since I was out here once. However, I haven't been out the edge of these pines yet and further that way. So I'm going to pause it for a minute. You can see from here to there. And I'll get up there and decide whether I'm going to end the video from there and continue the bump toward the wife, just for some neat entertainment, or we'll see from there. Be back in a minute. Okay. We came up the edge of the woods back there. I went ahead and marked it on this side. Down the bottom's that depression. And this is, ain't nothing been over here in a minute. But that's a buck rub, and that's a buck rub. Both of them are. You can see it. That one over there, shredded bark on it. But it's been a minute. Nothing been, but there is an older scrape, remnant of a scrape there on the ground. You can see the dirt all over that area, licking branches, and just all over through here. I came, like I said, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, since the wife's over in that way, somewhere up in that area. And I know there's a parking lot back over that way. Anyway, this is a nice little spot right here. If you could get a hang-on stand up in one of those babies, that would be perfect right here on the back side. Just beautiful. And I'm going to pause it for a minute while I look around and get my gloves back on. Yeah, obviously I came the long way by coming back there, but if I can cut that way, like toward that way, and find a straighter path to the road, which I'm pretty sure is straight that way. Pretty much that way. But man, because when I came further that way, which I think is on the other side of that pine forest chunk there, there's a power pole run that runs way out that way. But I didn't realize this was back here. So I can be a little quieter in the grass. We're going to go down that way a little bit, since I got my spot right here marked. I mean, there's some that you can see, dude, there would be awesome chance for finding sheds out here this coming spring, or late fall, winter, whatever you call it. All through here, man, little pockets of awesomeness. I'll put that back on my list. Get my glove back on. I love having that scope on there. Man. We're going to peek down this This is pretty cool. All kinds of little pockets. Little pocket over here to the right. Look at that. Isn't that crazy cool? That deer can be running around out here everywhere, anywhere. I thought I saw something. It's so quiet out here. We'll probably sneak there to get to that pine woods, but we'll cut down this way first. Man. I think that is so thick. I might pause it here. Look at the sun. 2 hours, 2.5 till dark. I'm gonna go up just a little bit further. Honeysuckle. It skirts right around that edge. Look at all those pockets. You see how the sunlight's in there? They can pop up in there and sleep all day. I ain't gonna go out in that. That's too deep. I will throw a marker back here where it starts to get thick. If I was going to do that, I'd want it to be more earlier in the day. That's a lot of area I got to scout to get back toward the wife. But I'm going to go ahead and... I brought this tape. I love this stuff. Forgive my putting my hand over the camera while I try to dig it out here. I got too many things and not enough pockets and hands. This stuff here, this one's a pretty good one. It's perforated. I'm going to go ahead, and that way next time, this will last a little while. It's that biodegradable stuff, but it's really good marking tape. I double tie it. Forgive me, I can't tell if that's even on the camera. And that's really good stuff. As you can tell, I'm going to leave. Give me a minute here, please. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Whew. This is a huge area out here. I love to get out in this stuff. And I'll tell you, if you ain't got some kind of marking tape like that to keep your trail, sorry, my hat's all tarted. If you ain't got some stuff like that to help keep, you can get turned around out here in these mountains. I mean, you get out here in the middle of all that, especially down in them gorges and turned around, everything starts looking the same. So I ain't gonna lie, back in my younger days, I didn't do that. I just blazed some trees with my knife, meaning cut a couple spots out of it, usually 3 of them, to make a good significant marking. But there's so far out here, I really wanted something that stood out. So we're gonna go back up and cut over to that pine forest. Hope you enjoy the video. I love doing stuff like this. And I know sometimes I just get to rambling, but I really enjoy it. And it's fun, it's good exercise. Get to see a bunch of scenery, possibly even deer. I mean, look at this. Look at those places where the deer come out here, man. I don't know if the camera does that justice. All the holes and the places. And them deer. It's crazy because you think, of course I am making noise going over on the other side, but not enough that I should have spooked them all out of here. This is like deer paradise. Now I will say that there was some folks in campers to my left, a couple 100 yards up that way at the beginning of season. I don't think they killed every deer in the forest. And you can just tell they're all up and through here all the time. I mean, look at this. That just don't happen. How that grass is all flipped around like that and pushed down. That's a lot of deer out here at some particular time. I get my glove back on. I love this one here. I think it's like Hunter Specialties. You see how that's been melted and perforated? It doesn't let it unfoil. And so I'm just hooking it on my finger for right now. That way I can stick it back in my pocket. Because we're in such thick, at any time something could pop out of here. I have to keep my finger right by the safety just in case. This is just amazing. Just amazing. That sun makes it so hard to see. There's another big open spot. Lord have mercy, any one of those big old pines right there would be another good spot to have a stand right here. So many to choose from. Like a kid in a candy store, man. And I probably better, I think I got a little too carried away. I marked that spot back there. And I need to mark it again right here before I forget which one of these tunnels lead back to the house. And I'm going to mark it back over here too. I don't mind backtracking. I told you, it's better safe than sorry. I'll mark this tree right here, then we'll go on. I can see my other one over there to the straight in front of us. Some might find that to be overkill. I find being lost in the woods at night and getting ate by a mountain lion or a bear overkill. I'd rather make it back to the house. Of course, I got my rifle and my protection, but plus it's supposed to be like 15 degrees tonight. That brings us to the next important message of our video today, people. Always be prepared with some survival gear. I move on, we'll go over that. We're going to cut down that way. And follow this. I see a scrape on the ground already. But I carry a Bic lighter on my inside pocket and a zip pocket so I don't get lost, with duct tape on it for an emergency fire tender if it's wet outside or whatnot. And also, I have a hunting knife, a good survival knife in my backpack, a couple cushions, extra gloves, another thicker hat, a neck gaiter to help hold some heat in this particular pack. I have some tissue that I could use for fire starter if I needed to. And I have extra water, a soda, and a few snacks in there just in case. But it's always important. I'm not going to pull all that out right now. I want to get down through here. Look at this. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there it goes right underneath that cedar. Pow! Right through here, trail. Straight back through here. This place is like the super highway. Just in case. That is so crazy. I can't believe how many trails are through here. It's just nuts. Hopefully in all my meandering over this way, I have bumped something to the wife. I'm going to tie this right on there. Give me a minute, please. There's another scrape right there on the ground. Older, licking branches. There's everywhere in here. I would venture to say there's some really big bucks in here. If you figure out the patterns and get a good spot. I think this is now my new favorite spot. There's a huge rub right there on that cedar. You could probably zoom in up and see it. Another rub on that big cedar right there. I can't believe I didn't find this place earlier in the year. There were so many other things to check out. I've been all over. Kind of settled on one spot, which was an old logging road I found on the other side of the road. Probably better than 1.5 miles from here. Way up that way. Been back in the deep over there, scouting around it. I found an old homestead back in the woods too, and an old well. I think it's in one of my videos where I took a picture, I can't remember. I got several videos I still need to upload yet, just no signal half the time. And so beautiful, so much place out here to get out. Look, there goes another cut. Probably another great big opening out in the middle of through those pines. That's why I'd be marking my trail down through here. We've wandered around in circles. Lord have mercy, look at that. We're going to keep going straight up a little bit because it goes for quite a ways up there. We're going to stay on this straight part anyway. I'm going to throw a little mark on this little piece. Then I'm going to quiet down for a minute and see if I can. Pretty soon I got to start heading back toward the wife. Forgive me, whatever you're looking at while I'm trying to get that tied. I apologize because I got that on my backpack on the front. So, forgive me. Man, this is beautiful. I didn't realize how much I talk in my videos. I was thinking the whole time I've been out here, been yakety yak, yak, yak. That is so crazy. This path cuts straight through here. I mean, you can look at it. They be using this path. So many pockets out in the middle of all that. Look at that big old beautiful cardinal. That is beautiful. It flew right up there. Just amazing. This is blowing me away, folks. I think this has to... It's been a long time since I don't know that in all my years of hunting, I have found a bedding area this huge with this many cutoffs and open little places where you could hide up in here. We're probably a good 250, well, we're 300 yards straight back. I'm telling you, the road's right behind us. Straight back that way. Probably about 350 yards. But you wouldn't even know this was here if you, I don't know, I'm just blown away by this. Just blowing my mind. Looks like it opens up here pretty good. It takes extra time stopping to tie that on there all the time, but it's worth it. I'm only going to go about, I always say that in all my videos, don't I? I'm only going to go till this opens up here. I can see the sun up there really looking open. I'm going to head to that, and we're going to turn around, I think. I did not expect to see this. Man, after walking around that grass, back here in the leaves, I think it looks like it opens up a whole bunch right up here. It does. These mounds are crazy. I'm marking it again right here. A big one. I don't want to miss that. Too easy to get turned around. Can't stress that enough, because I did it not too long ago, and it was really spooky for a couple minutes. I guess one of the main things about it was I thought, how could I possibly get lost? Because I don't normally get lost, and it was like blowing my mind. Like I was just right there, and frantic tried to. Oh my Lord, look at the size of that oak. I just squirreled on you. Look at that thing, dude. Lord have mercy, I bet there's That'd be a perfect spot for a stand too. Sneak up in that baby. Climb around all them things like a squirrel up in there. I would. Anyway, that frantic feeling kind of messes with you. Man, there's another big old buck rubs. Look at it, right there on them two cedars, or pine trees rather. Two more rubs right there. And another trail sneaking through there. There's that big clearing I was talking about. And there's another used to be rub on the ground with some broken licking branches. Thank you, Lord. I love the Lord. Boy, howdy, look. Another rub. I've had a feeling we'd run into something. My Lord, this is so beautiful out here. The possibilities of killing a deer are endless. A nice span. That'd be a perfect spot for a hang on right there. Looks like somebody might have had one there in the past. So many possibilities. I need to mark this. Once you get back there, you get turned around. The trail looks different. I'm going to look to see what the other side of the clearing looks like. And we're going to turn around. Just beautiful little spot right here. And this ain't counting. Wow. It ain't counting all the little pockets that's all around here to the left and to the right. Just blowing my mind. I'll have to get out here earlier in the morning one time. I like to do it this time of the year because everything's, you can see easier through the woods. It's not so closed in, if you would. But man, I'm going to go ahead and look at this. A nice big clear. Any of these big old cedars or pines around this edge, you could sneak a hang-on stand up in. And ain't no telling. I got the wife up there. Like I said, I've already done this in many of my videos, but you can just tell if you see how thick that is. Look at that big thick out there. Boy, howdy, them deer can climb out in the middle of that. But if you don't mark your edge, like I got, you see the mark, but if you don't mark it where you come out of the edge, you can get turned around pretty quick. That's I know I've said it many times, but that's the information for you today. And we're going to head back. And I'm going to poke toward the wife. I'll let you walk with me back up this. Maybe we'll get lucky and run face first into a deer on this trail. You never know. Once I get past this noisy part anyway. Back to the grass. And then we'll see. I don't even know how long the YouTube video is able to upload. I think I've been on here for probably almost 45 minutes or better now. But this is just an amazing trail. And that ain't counting out. That's the pine woods out there. Boy, howdy. These mountains are amazing me. Okay, back to some grass. Be a little more quiet. There could be something cross, left or right. All these, especially this right here. This is a really good entrance out of the deep. Look, see that buck rub right there? Straight in front of you, zoom up on there, there's a buck rub, a huge one, where he goes straight through there, into the middle of that. Out of the pocket of cedars from down in the valley over that way. There's so many options for bedding in here. You could put up anywhere and get a deer. You can't tell me that's only one buck. Not as many rubs. And that was not including what I saw before I started the video. I will tell you the Ozark Mountains, Mark Twain National Forest, but I ain't giving my spot away. Beautiful here in Missouri. I'd be happy if me or the wife got a yearling doe. I just wanted the meat. But the Lord's perfect will. I thought sure I'd bump something or see something back in that bedding area. Man, this looks really good. I guess after you've been hunting for so long, you just kind of get a feeling. This up here in this front, this open, and from what we've already been back over to the right, this just feels really good right here. I don't want to make too much noise, but I might go to the right up there, poke in, look down in there. There's another scrape right there. Boy, howdy, bro. I just want you to see in here. Look, there's another scrape. That one's still been used not too long ago. Licking branches. Right down into this. Get out in here a little bit. So you can see by the looks of this, I mean, just look at it. The camera, I know, doesn't even do it justice. Right out where you see the sunlight, drops off down into another valley, going up that way. The deers, they got all their little secret hiding spots out there, man, in the thick and in the deep. But what a beautiful thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll go a little bit more back toward the front before I cut her off. What a beautiful area. I'm blown away by the awesomeness of this place. I would find a spot and sit down right here somewhere, and right in here to be exact. Back in there, up in that brush, and just post up by that tree. Especially if I had my chair I left by the wife. But I know she's sitting up there, and she's closer to the road, so I'm not worried about her. But she's take care of herself. But I gotta find my spot straight through to the road before it gets dark. Next time I come out, I'll have a better idea. But we're gonna head back that way. I tell you, when those things, all those thorn bushes do that, drag across you, it sounds like somebody just threw dinner plates all over the wood. I think there's another scrape by my foot. I do think we came in from the right, and I'm gonna take, give me a minute. I don't know if I want to go back that straight up. I think I might cut straight through these things because I believe there's another pond right in front of us that we haven't seen yet, and I just saw that. I'm quite certain there's a pond, another pond. Yet again, right here to our left. We're going to peek in here. So I was going to go right through there to the more open, but I think we'll be able to see it from here too. Quite certain this is a pond. that's like 3 pounds. It's like 3 whole pounds in that area. I'll skirt that pond around to the front side. If that's the case, my Lord, this place is awesome. Didn't mean to do that. It's almost impossible through. There's water in it, folks. Oh, man. Oh, boy, howdy. Now that I know this, in the very beginning, let me get up here on top of this hill. Now that I know that is so crazy. Isn't that neat? You could just tell by the way they berm it up. I do it all over in Missouri here, and I guess because of that rocky clay soil, it helps hold water. There's deer tracks everywhere, all down through the edge of that pines where they've been coming through here to get a drink. And I mean like littered with deer tracks, frozen because it got down to 15 last night. And there's no fresh bus spots. Sometimes they'll hit it with their feet and knock a spot, but not here today. Anyway, it's a little thicker that way, but now that I know this is here, we're going to go back to the trail right over here where we come through and walk, because I think it'll be open. Listen. And I can hear the road straight ahead too. We're going to get back near to the trail. Oh yeah. There's buck rubs all over in front of us too. I'm going to mark this one. I have just found my new hunting spot of all time. I don't think I'd say that, but I don't know that I'll hunt anywhere else the rest of my life. I have just found, let me get this tight on because I'm really shaking in my guts right now in a good, lovely way. There's only a few things that I find the joy in this life. Number one, Jesus Christ. My wife, she's important to me. Obviously, my children and family and the souls that God wants saved. And after that, my number one pastime is deer hunting and finding some of those deers. And because I like to eat them. And one of the least wicked things in the world, as long as you don't make it at night, all right? But today, or this evening, has been a wonderful, I just look at that. I don't know what the camera's even doing right now. Hopefully it ain't blurring your eyes out with that sun, but my Lord. Another good perfect. That tree right there, probably that one at the top of it, because you can see to the other side, there's that clearing over there. Boy, howdy. Between this pond, that other pond that was right over there, this main thoroughfare road that we just walked down that goes all the way back. Oh my Lord, this is a beautiful spot. I'm going to have to take all this in. It's hard to see that sun bashing me straight in the eyes. Sorry, it probably is you too. I apologize. I got to get heading back that way pretty quick. I'm making sure I mark this so I can find my way back through here again. There it is. Look at this, man. We'll mark it up here. I'm just blown away. I think I know where I'm at right now. I better mark that tree. I like to make sure that way when I come back and look, I've seen. But I guarantee you those deers. I'll mark it right here. Yeah, I can hear the road now. About 70 yards that way. It's just amazing. If I find the way to the wife sooner, I might. Yeah, it's like somebody's actually brought a side-by-side part way back here maybe. Again, I apologize for the camera being in my arm while I'm trying to get the thing tied on here. There's a beautiful area here, and I'm really stoked. Yeah, somebody's came to that spot and driven back here anyways, you could tell. I don't know. I'm going to walk through that a little bit where they cut that. I didn't come through anything like that. I'm pretty sure that leads up to that other camp spot. And the wife's over that way. I'm going to look through here. Just to the other side of it anyway. So I know. Yep. Remember I told you when we were standing back there that there's a power pole run. Let me get up here. When we were back there on the other road, I said on the other side of that pine forest, there was a camp area and a power pole run. You'll see it in just a minute. There it is. The power pole is straight up that way. I see it. And the power pole run goes that way. And across the road on the other side. And now that I know, you can park in that camping area too. But there's well, it's not really a camping area. You can camp anywhere, I guess, in there. But there's another pole right there you can see. But they camp. I don't know that it's designated, but there was 3 campers. They even brought a porta potty in and had it set there. And they were out. And so that road comes down the power pole line and then runs down through here. And it's all national forest. So I don't know that it was actually legal for them to be driving down here. Not supposed to anyways. But I guess I've never been in the mountains and hunting, so these guys got something different going on, I guess. But so, because I know that this goes and leads us right to that main power pole run, which leads us back to the wife. But I'm going to go that way and come around. But I'm going to end the video before I head through there because I need to text the wife. And I know she's pretty smart, but I don't feel like getting shot when I come around. And I was hoping I'd bump something to her, but we'll see. But I want to get back. You can see the sun's getting kind of low. It's a beautiful time of the year to be outside. And I love deer season. My favorite part's back in October, though, whenever the sun stays out longer. More time in the woods. God's great outdoors. And I think, whew, I'm going to mark it right here on this tree and head through that way. I'll mark it here so I remember. And I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful little video. A lot of times me rambling, but I'm going to get over there before the sun gets down too low, and get back to the wife. And hopefully I maybe bumped something. Oh, did you see that? A prophetic blue jay just went flying right through there. Prophetic blue. But anyway, and I hope you enjoyed that beautiful video today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. And we share all kinds of stuff on here, little adventures, things about the Lord. We love you all greatly. Hope you have a wonderful day.